Okay, my mic's on. Okay, my mic's on. Is your mic working?
Yeah, testing. We're getting set up. Hold on.
Okay, very good.
I'm having set up the studio here.
Yeah, all good. It is still the show before the show. So everybody, please like and share the show this morning. And also, if you have friends that are in a group, take your little arrow tab and press it and send it to a group you're with, or maybe text the show on any platform to any friends you have today.
Yeah, good morning to you, Michelle, Annette, Trisha, Elizabeth, Kimberly, Jeannie, Mary, Karen with a K, Roland, Greg, Chris, Mary, Bendy, Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley.
She's on our chat this morning.
That's right. Good morning, Nikki Haley.
Nikki said, I wanted to tell you, cancel this, that you guys ruined my New Hampshire situation. I'm sorry. Good morning to you, Glenn and Melanie. I'm sorry, Nikki. We just gave the stats. We just gave the facts.
We just told the truth.
I'm sorry, Nikki, that we ruined it.
We need to sing the song Mary tells us to. Nikki, Nikki, you're so blind, you've lost your mind. Hey, Nikki. So sing that, Vic.
What? What are you talking about?
Mary on the chat line said that's her new song. You know that song?
Mary?
No, it's like, hey, Mickey, you're so fine.
Yeah.
You're so, okay, but instead it's, hey, Nikki, you're so fine. But she's not fine. She's so blind.
Oh, Nimrod Namrata.
Nimrod Namata.
Yeah, it's the show before the show. We're starting a little bit later this morning. It's the technology is so cool because we're able to do the stuff that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Joe from home, us here in the studio.
Yep. It really is great, actually. Technology is a good thing.
Good morning, Karen with a C. Nancy. Ready to rock and roll a Wednesday. We're jam-packed. Hey, I wonder if we're going to... I don't know if we're running music today or not.
I'm not sure. It'll be a surprise.
Joe text me and let me know if we're running music. All right, buddy? Just let me know so I can get started with the show or not. If we can run music, we'll run music. Yeah, technology can be also very frustrating.
Yes, it can, for sure.
But at the same point in time, it's all good. Thanks to Megan, who came in yesterday with you. Heard it was a really, really good show, as always. I'm waiting to hear from Joe. Joe, let me know so we can go.
Pro Joe, can we go?
Don't be a
Pro Joe. Anytime, Pro Joe.
okay. Where the hell's Joe? Joe, you left us hanging, dude. Let's call Joe in the air.
Let's do.
If you look at the private chat,
Oh, I don't see a private.
Yeah, the private chat didn't come
It
up
didn't
here.
come up.
Normally, if you make a message, Joe, it'll pop up, and no message popped up. That's weird.
Yeah, I got no message.
Normally, it pops up on our screen, so you can't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Megan says, "Hi, Joe."
Hi, Joe. There he is. Is that you, Joe?
Hey, Joe, I wanted to do. Hey, by the way, could you get your happy picture from Route 66 ready? Can you pop that in during our interview with Ham today?
That would
Hopefully
be
you
good.
can.
That was a good pick.
I've never seen you more happy.
He's saying yes. No music.
Yeah, no music.
Okay, no music. Okay, got it.
Yes. Oh, no music. All right. Sorry, we'll just do it. Okay, guys, here we go.
He can
It's
add
like
music in later.
it's like the old Hollywood with the board.
Uh-huh.
Take one, and then they go.
Mm-hmm.
Or in TV would
Yeah.
be like it's very interesting
Mm-hmm.
because when people do look lives and reporters,
Yeah.
there's a guy that works at Fox 2, Christian Ye, Fox 2 News.
Fox. You got to say it like that.
Fox 2 News.
Mm-hmm.
Chris had such idiosyncrasies, and I like him. I got along with him great.
Yeah.
I have never
He's good.
worked with an individual who is more detailed at anything in their life
That's awesome.
than Chris Renier.
I like his name.
Like
too.
he had a problem. He is so detailed.
Okay. Like he's
But it
maybe a-
helped. Oh my! But he'd have to go. He'd do the same thing every time, like the exact same thing.
Uh-huh.
3, 2.
And then
Or
he's
let's
ready.
get to the COVID numbers this morning.
Yeah, you know what? We don't really have a thing. You know, like what we do before the show,
Oh, that's all right. We don't need anything.
other than we ramble on.
All right, here we go. 3, 2.
2, 1.
Or you don't even say the 1.
Oh,
You just go 3, 2. Welcome to Cancel This, cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic. We'll just go now. Hey guys, welcome to cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe, loving life this morning, smoking his doobies from his house out in Beyonder, out in the country somewhere. I think he lives in he lives in one of those, he might be out with old Colonel Joe somewhere
he probably is with Colonel Joe.
in a bunker
He's in a bunker.
somewhere.
Uh-huh. Joe and Colonel Joe. All the Joes are in one place.
Hey guys, it is Wednesday. It is January 24th. We're glad that you're joining us. CancelTheShow.com Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. And of course, all the time on our website, CancelTheShow.com. News headlines, politics, interviews. And we've got your politics and interviews today for sure. Cancel culture, education, and stories. We have business. We have fun. And of course, Lizzie is insisting that we become Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce News 101 every single day.
Yeah, I do say that.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's a little joke.
Yeah, it's a little joke. Good morning to everybody. Pam, Megan, Heather, Trisha, everybody jumping in on the show today. Okay, no surprise. Here we go. First of all, we've got so many damn things to talk about. The New Hampshire primaries, we're going to break it down with all kinds of great sound. You know, from Donald Trump, you hear from Nikki Haley, you hear from Vivek, you're going to hear from Ronna McDaniel. Holy shit, she must want to keep her job.
Yeah, she came out of the woodwork.
She's telling Nikki, get your ass out the door. It's time to go. We got Ronna. We've got a politician in Chicago. Naperville's a pretty nice area of Chicago. I mean, there's some really nice areas, affluent neighborhoods. We'll tell you what he's telling people to do when it comes to illegal aliens. Yeah, I could see this flying in Ladue. Really nice. I could see this flying in Town and Country. I could see this flying out in Swing Baby Haven.
Swing, baby. Haven. Swing.
Yeah, I can see it happening in all these places. We'll get into all of that in our interviews. Okay, coming up at 8:30, we're going live to New Age today. Kathy
love
Harvick
that.
Strick, Steve Strick. I had my blood drawn yesterday.
You did?
Yep.
You did do that. Okay, good.
Yeah. I joke about this because I need to get healthy.
We all do.
Are healthier, and I need to lose some pounds. And people may not, but I'm the biggest I've ever been in my life, even when I was playing college football.
Really?
Yeah, stress, eating,
Oh, stress
just
will do
eating,
it. Stress will do that.
maybe a drink here and there,
Right.
maybe too much Diet
But-
soda. I got to
yeah.
live. So anyway, I went over there to check it out. We're going to go live there. We'll be talking to Ham, of course, Ham Hamrah, live from St. Bart's. He's there for a month. He's,
Yeah.
getting things straightened out there. We'll cut up with him. And then, of course, our friend Scott Fawn
I
from
can't
the Missouri
wait for
Times,
this.
because there's not just drama on the national stage. There's all kinds of drama in Missouri. Leave it to St. Louis and Missouri to always be making national headlines
Absolutely.
in some sort of thing.
Mhm.
And then, of course, Anthony reminds us St. Louis County had to cancel its meeting last night thanks to Palestinian protesters.
Yep.
I'll give you the shout out on that. A woman came up, said what she wanted to say. And then, of course, they wouldn't stop saying ceasefire, ceasefire. Okay, great.
Mhm.
Like St. Louis County officials are supposed to do something.
Right.
Okay, give me a break.
Mhm.
You're not helping yourself out. And once again, it's the pro-Palestinian supporters who aren't talking about the hostages. They're not talking about the deaths on October 7th. They're not talking about the rapes. They're not talking about what happened to people's family members, daughters, husbands, anything. They only want to talk about their side. And it's sad. And I'm sorry if you're a pro-Palestinian supporter. Let's talk fact. Let's talk realism. Let's not just throw out one side of the story. And certainly you're not going to gain any attention. You're not going to gain any sympathy for your cause when you try to interrupt people who are innocent of any of the bullshit that's going on there. So anyway, you can have your say and fine. But you're not gaining any support. You're only making people hate you. I promise you. And maybe you don't care. But if you don't care, then why do it in the first place? Just so your voice can be heard. That makes you feel better on the inside.
Mhm.
Anyway, it was really stupid. It was clownish. The woman who went up to the podium and she started singing, but whatever. Hey, to each their own. Have fun with that. This is cancelthisshow.com. Go to our website, cancelthisshow.com. You can check out all of our platforms. You can like, subscribe, share the show. It helps us out. If you have ideas for guests or stories like Anthony just brought up, let us know. We do this for 2 hours. And of course, it is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. Wednesdays are jam, slam, pack as always. Okay, I can't wait to get into the story because I knew what was going to happen.
Mhm.
We knew Nikki Haley was going to get beat bad in New Hampshire. We know the deep state is involved in all of this. And you're also going to see a story today with Kari Lake, which started to blow up yesterday. Of course, she should be the governor of Arizona, but there were some sort of issues when it came to Maricopa County and all of the voting. Well, she was trying to run for state senate. Just wait to hear the video of the deep state. And guess what? The deep state also involves Republicans. The deep state is all encompassing, as Donald Trump has found out, and as a lot of people have found out when it came to the whole situation. So last night, Nikki Haley, for all intents and purposes, you lose by 12%. You spend $31 million, and 7 out of 10 of your votes were unregistered or Democrat.
Yes.
It was a Democrat ploy to try to take down Donald Trump.
Mhm.
And by the way, no Republican has won Iowa and then gone to New Hampshire and won. Donald Trump, the Trump Express is rolling down the tracks,
Yes.
whether you like it or not. Get on or get out of the way, because if you're in the way, you're going to get run over and you're only going to be pissed off more, because Americans have woken up. Donald Trump is who they want. This isn't a race, despite Nikki Haley acting like she took a victory lap last night.
She did. Her in her glittery dress and her pretty makeup. She
I wasn't even
acted like she
going.
won.
I wasn't even going to that. But
She acted like
She
she
looked
was
nice.
the Queen of Sheba.
yeah, look, you know what? She looked nice. We'll give
She did.
credit.
She looked really pretty.
Yeah, we're not jerks. We'll give her credit.
No, she looked
it's probably
great.
one of the best I've seen her look.
The best I've seen her look. for
But
sure.
normally you don't get dressed up for a losing pageant.
Right. Right. I'm dressed up because I'm the loser. I
Well, she's
put my
got a
makeup
lot of
on.
money from Reid Hoffman and all those liberal donors.
Yeah.
Okay, Nikki's up. Here's Nikki after she got trounced last night. Everybody's trying to spin this because you get beat by 12 points and almost 70% of the people who voted for you aren't even registered Republicans. It was about getting at Donald Trump. The deep state is going down. They know it. They're freaking out. They're trying to figure out their next plan. So why not put Nikki out there to give this speech, which makes no sense to me?
Now, you've all heard the chatter among the political class. They're falling all over themselves, saying this race is over. Well, I have news for all of them. New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation. This race is far from over. There are dozens of states left to go. And the next one is my sweet state of South Carolina. At one point in this campaign, there were 14 of us running, and we were at 2% in the polls. Well, I'm a fighter. And
a
I'm
loser.
scrappy.
And I'm
And now we're the last one standing
Gotta
next
point
to
fingers at
Donald
people.
Trump. And today we got close to half of the vote. We still
Delusional.
have a ways to go,
Denial.
but we keep moving up.
Okay.
She's a
that's
comedian,
Well, she's not trying to be funny.
but it is. It comes off funny to
Oh
me.
my God. Here's the problem. If anybody liked or respected Nikki Haley before last night, this should make you think twice. Why?
Mhm.
Because she's flat out lying.
She is.
The numbers are a lie.
Mhm.
She's trying to spin. You can't trust her if she was in an office.
Correct.
She's bought and paid for by liberal Democrats.
Yes.
Despite getting her ass beat last night, 7 out of 10 voted for her that were not Republicans. You take the Democrats out, and this is a Republican primary. She gets less than, 10%? It is sad. It is a sad state of affairs, just how bad she got beat. But we knew this was going to happen. And guess what?
Mhm.
The bigger crushing defeats are on the way.
Yeah.
That's
they
where
sure
she was
are.
supposed to do well. She's not going to leave the race. She went on to say she's not leaving the race. And guess why she's not leaving the race? Because she's part of the deep state money
Yes.
now. Because the deep state money says, we don't care if you get your ass beat. We're going to put the money up, because the more Donald Trump has to campaign, has to spend
Yes.
and deal with that, the harder it is for him to get ready for a general election as well. The harder it is for him to deal with all of the fake cases that are going on, that are starting to unravel, by the way. And it doesn't matter if he's, quote, convicted in any of these fake courts as they are, these fake indictments as they are. He'll still run and he'll still win in any sort of fair election. I just get sad when I see Nikki Haley doing this,
Me
because
too.
once again, like Ron DeSantis, you go down that road, you try to get on that track, you try to take down the Trump train, bad things happen to you. When you're dishonest, when you're disingenuine, which is my favorite word for her, bad things happen. Americans are starting to wake up. They are. I saw it. Hell, I saw it in New Hampshire. I know that they're Republicans, but then the Republicans in New Hampshire, their number one issue, illegal immigration,
Yes.
illegal aliens. Number two issue, economy.
Duh.
Foreign affairs, 3, abortion was only down at number 4 at 5%.
Well, people are tired of the abortion talk only because we already have Roe versus Wade. Let's move on.
It should be, but Democrats are, if I'm a Democrat, I'm hitting that hard.
That's true. That's true.
I am hitting hard. So Nikki Haley looked really bad last night. Joe just popped up a video breaking down what exactly I was talking about when it came to voters, and why Nikki Haley and MSNBC, CNN wasn't even like jumping on her train. They were all like, holy crap, she needs to get out.
Mhm.
But check out this video breaking down who the voters actually were.
We asked folks coming into the polls, do you identify as a Republican? Do you identify as a Democrat? Or do you identify
as an American.
as an independent? And here's what we found in this
I as
exit
an
poll so
American.
far.
This is key.
And I think this jumps right out at you. A minority of voters in this first wave of the exit poll in the Republican primary identify as Republicans. A majority, 53%, identify as either independents, 45%, or, and this is a high number historically, 8% identify as Democrats. For some context here, in 2016, the last competitive Republican presidential primary in New Hampshire, the electorate was 55% Republican. It was 42% independent, and it was 3% Democratic. So in this initial wave, you're seeing some significant differences
You
from
think?
2016.
Okay, Joe, we got
asked
the
folks
idea.
coming
We
in
gave everybody the idea there. This is what happened. This is the deep state at work. it's what I would call election interference. I would even go that far
It is election interference.
to try to down Donald Trump. Once again, all the man does is lose money while trying to help this country. All this man does is put up with all kinds of crap. The media still won't give him the attention. They still won't call it for what it is. It is interesting. I've lost a ton of respect for Steve Doocy, the morning anchor. At
Me
Fox News.
too. Me too.
What a clown. What
He's
a kook.
completely different than his son. He really is.
Yeah, thank God that the son must be a whole lot more like mom, because this guy, he won't even tell facts. I was watching some of it today.
Yeah, I can't even watch him.
I mean, I don't want to call him the yum ass, but
He is.
Oh my God. He's just,
he's in love with
you
Nikki.
literally I heard a reporter this morning on Fox News. Well, Nikki Haley almost got 50% of the vote. I was like, hello, dumbass. I know you're young. I know you're inexperienced. And I know that's what networks hire now, is young and inexperienced people and are cheap. But please break down the numbers. That's what we do here. It wasn't even a close. This was a bloodbath. And Nevada, yeah, you're right, chat line. Nikki's not going to Nevada. She's not even there.
No.
She's going to get crushed there because Donald Trump is going to win there. Then she's going to go home to South Carolina, in her own home state, where she's polling at 30 points behind Donald Trump. And guess what? All the polls, people can say, well, polls don't matter. Polls proved everything with Donald Trump from the start of this. They've been dead on. And they've been proven dead on. People tried to say, well, you can't believe the polls. Ron DeSantis is a lot closer. Poor Ron. I know he got back on the Trump train. He got run over. He took his lumps. He got beat up. He went and said, I'm sorry. Can I get on the train? So he jumped on the train, and Trump's aides took care of his bruises. They took care of his scrapes. They took care of his heart. They helped him out, and they put him in his little spot. They gave him some coffee and, give him a nice little pillow. And now Ron's being nursed back to health. And he's going to be a nice guy for Donald Trump.
Very good. He's not up on that stage yet at this point.
No, he's got it. He's working through some things.
Yes, he's in the hospital.
He caused more problems than Vivek did.
Yeah, he did.
And he's still working on that smile. I heard, the AP is reporting that Donald Trump's team has a smile expert working with Ron DeSantis right now to teach him how to smile.
That's a good thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's a good thing.
Really big breaking news right there.
Yes, it is.
So then Nikki's going to go to South Carolina. She's going to get destroyed in South Carolina because the polling has proven to be correct. However, how much will the deep state spend? How much are they willing to spend to keep Donald Trump? I think it's an endless amount. I think she goes
endless amount.
After you get your ass handed to you in New Hampshire after spending $31 million last night, there's no doubt in my mind she's going to go all the way through Super Tuesday.
People are saying that she's spending all of this money because she's going to force herself as the VP.
No. Who said that?
I don't know, but
the longer she stays in, the worse it gets for her.
It makes her look awful.
And Donald Trump will see, I gave you a chance. You're fired.
You're fired.
You're done.
You're fired. No, I think people are saying, I've heard other news pundits saying that the GOP will force that. I don't think so.
Nobody forces anything on Donald Trump.
No.
We have learned that.
No,
maybe
don't.
Ron, maybe her. Nobody forces anything on Donald. And by the way, I don't care about the VP anymore. At first, I was all hyped.
Either.
I think it doesn't matter.
It only mattered on something like the J6 situation.
Yeah. And I think it matters if you don't have a solid leader like Donald Trump.
Correct. We just don't want somebody in the White House leaking like Mike Pence did. That's my only concern, because he was leaking.
And if you're not aware of that, if you're a new listener, viewer, whatever, oh my God, what Mike Pence did on January 6th and all the stuff that he was leaking is sad state of affairs. Because I remember when I respected him and thought he was a respectable, commendable Republican. I'm Mike Pence. I'm pro-life.
A lot of people thought that.
And I'm a pro-liar.
I'm a pro-liar.
I'm an all-pro liar on top of it.
Yes.
Sadly, he might be part of that deep state, which is there.
Oh, he is.
So
he is.
That was the Nikki Haley side of things. I hate ripping. I don't want to rip people just for ripping. But if she's standing up there, inviting it on herself, lying to the people, refusing to, she's one of those people. Do we all know those people that they just can't admit that they're wrong ever? Listen, we all screw up. We screw up. Apologize.
Admit it, though. Admit you screwed up and move on.
And they can't admit that they've lost.
Correct.
She's lost. She can't admit it because she's collecting those checks.
Yes.
She's got bigger fish to fry. She's going to go through this and disappear. She's going to take her money and run. Because by the end of this, she's going to look very, very bad. Very bad as a Republican, because she's already showing that she's not a Republican right now.
Yeah.
I repeat, right now.
Right. She
She's
never
not.
is. Well, she's been a moderate warmonger.
And I'm tired of her lying.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show this again because I said it last week that Nikki Haley did say she would never run for president as long as Donald Trump was running. Well, somebody said, really? I didn't see that she had said that. And
She did say that.
I'm like, well, we've got video of it. There's 6 or 7 issues that, I mean, she's the female John Kerry, the flip-flopper
Yeah,
of
she
all
is.
politicians. She kind of looks like him.
Yeah. Maybe they're siblings.
Nikki Haley. Here's her describing when she said she would never run for president.
He still has a lot of popularity if he runs again in 2020 before January 6th.
Nikki
What
Haley's
happened?
Nikki Haley's a little confused.
He still has a lot of popularity if he runs again in 2024. Will you support him?
Yes.
If he decides that he's going to run, would that preclude any sort of run that you would possibly make yourself?
I would not run if President Trump ran.
Oh,
And I would talk to him about it. That's something that we'll have a conversation about at some point if that decision is something that has to be made. But yeah, I would absolutely. I had a great working relationship with him. I appreciated the way he let me do my job. I thought we did some fantastically great foreign policy things together. And look, I just want to keep building on what we accomplished and not watch it get torn down.
When was the last time
liar,
you talked to
liar,
him?
pants on fire. She did not do any of those things. And it continues to happen.
Mhm.
Just admit it. Now, I get it. These guys that have all the money, they don't like to be told no.
Correct.
They don't like to lose.
Well, and what she said is emblematic of a bigger problem. She admitted she had a great working relationship with Trump. And I think a lot of people do. But then once these big, bad, deep state money people come at him, all of a sudden, then Donald Trump's the big, bad wolf. It all comes down to who's paying these people to all of a sudden now say he's hard to work with.
By the way, Robert says Steve Ducey seemed to change after Rupert Murdoch turned over control at Fox and sold part of the company to Disney. But Steve also seems like one of those guys that he wouldn't be out there standing up for his village if invaders came in.
Correct. He'd let him right in. If he was down at the border, he'd let him.
Oh, yeah, okay. Steve Ducey, dude.
That's so him.
Steve Ducey.
Steve Ducey.
I'm sorry. 4 solid Pinocchios for Tricky Nikki. Yeah, you think. Stop lying. We just want to make sure you understand. We're bringing up facts, not opinion, not feelings. Facts, facts, facts. Okay. Now to some of the better news for people that you can trust. And I'm sorry, you just love Trump. I love leaders. I love people who are being truthful. Listen to Donald Trump give his speech after you heard Nikki talk. Donald Trump speaking, sounding like a leader. And one thing I've noticed different with Trump from years past, like the Don he truly is, he's standing back a little more.
Yeah, he is.
And he's letting one of the greatest speakers, I think, from a political standpoint, this country has ever seen. And we're witnessing it right now. And I am not going overboard when I talk about what Vivek is doing. And you're going to hear from Vivek in just a second. But you have to hear Donald Trump speaking. He's just a leader.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Whoa. Well, I want to thank everybody. This is a fantastic state. This is a great, great state. You know, we won New Hampshire 3 times now. Three. We win it every time. We win the primary. We win the generals. We've won it, and it's a very, very special place to me. It's very important. If you remember, in 2016, we came here and we needed that win, and we won by 21 points, and it was great. And today, I have to tell you, it was very interesting because I said, wow, what a great victory. But then somebody ran up to the stage all dressed up nicely when it was at 7. But now I just walked up and it's at 14. But she ran up when it was 7. And, you know, we have to do what's good for our party. And she was up and I said, wow, she's doing like a speech like she won. She didn't win, she lost. And you know, last week we had a little bit of a problem, and if you remember, Ron was very upset because she ran up and she pretended she won Iowa. And I looked around, I said, didn't she come in 3rd? Yeah, she came in 3rd. And then I looked at the polls. He was talking about most winnability, who's going to win, and I had one put up. I don't know if you see it, but I have one put up. We've won almost every single poll in the last 3 months against crooked Joe Biden, almost every poll. And she doesn't win those polls. And she doesn't win those. This is not your typical victory speech, but let's not have somebody take a victory when she had a very bad night. She had a very bad night. Thank you, everybody.
There you go. Donald
That
Trump.
is so true. I mean, he called a spade there. I mean, she had a bad night, and yet she dressed up in her blue.
bad day.
She had a bad night.
It's almost like the Snickers commercial. You want to get away. She needed to
She
take
needed
a bite
to
of a
get away.
Snickers and get out of town. And then Vivek is just completely eviscerating her. Vivek is great. And Donald Trump, one thing for his credit, he's recognized excellence. And there is no way in hell this man would ever allow anybody to take his time unless he totally trusted him. I'm just saying, Donald Trump trusts Vivek.
You think so?
Hell yes.
Okay. I'm not sure that I'm
And
sure about that.
and here's why he does, because
Okay.
there's no way in hell he would let him have the time that he has. He is putting him front and center. The only way Donald Trump wouldn't trust him is if Donald Trump is in on the get-go as well.
Mhm. Well, that is
Because
true too. That is
Because
true too.
Donald Trump doesn't give anybody the stage to speak on his behalf unless he trusts them 100%.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, 100%. And he did again last
He's
night.
saying great things.
And
He is
here-
saying great things.
and Donald Trump is giving him the stage. Donald Trump doesn't let anybody talk for Donald Trump unless he trusts them 100%. That's all we've ever seen from him, right? Never has Donald Trump let anybody talk for him, especially now. And here's Vivek from last night.
Now at the party? I am Jesse. I'm right here at the party 8, the after party right here. And look, I think this is a decisive win for Donald Trump. That's what we're seeing tonight. I think there's actually an interesting view of this, which is it's like a terrain for the general election. You have more independents and Democrats, it looks like, voting in this GOP primary than registered Republicans themselves. And many of the largest donors to the Democratic Party have been the largest donors to Nikki Haley, who's Donald Trump's opponent here. So I think this is a prediction of what you're going to see in the general election. And the decisive margin we see tonight is in some ways, I think, something that bodes well for Trump heading into the general election in November to reunite this country. And so in my view, the general election really begins tonight. I think the Republican primary, for all intents and purposes, is over tonight. And I think the party and the country are better off if we see that for what it is.
Is Vivek Ramaswamy calling for Nikki Haley to suspend her campaign?
Look, I do think that would be the right thing for the country, unambiguously. And also just to call a spade, Jesse, as you know, I've not been unafraid to do that in this campaign. If Nikki Haley does stay in, it will send the signal that her only path and what she's playing for is for Donald Trump being eliminated by forces outside of this process, by the judicial system, by secretaries of state in places like Maine or elsewhere. And I think that's downright wrong. I think it's wrong for the Republican Party. I think it's wrong for this country. There is no viable path for her to defeat him through the front door. And so what we're really just seeing is the very people like Reid Hoffman, who are paying for the lawsuits against Donald Trump, now becoming the largest donors or among the largest donors to Nikki Haley. It becomes obvious that the thing they're playing for is Trump to be eliminated by what I view as illegitimate means. And I think that is bad for this party, bad for this country. That's what that will mean. And so for that reason, I do think the right decision for Nikki Haley to make for the country and for the Republican Party tonight or very soon after tonight is to make this a one-person nomination for the Republican nomination and then head to a general election where we can focus, I think, Jesse, this
we
year
can get out of
on
this
delivering
right now
a
because that's where Vivek was talking about. Yes, he would be terrific as a cabinet. But once again, Vivek is putting it all in perspective. I mean, he does. I did see his victory rally speech. We gave his excitement the other day. I wanted people to hear Vivek talk in a calm manner and talk very specifically about meat and potato issues about what's happening.
Well, and seeing that particular clip right there, I can tell why Trump really likes him because they have matching hair. They have the hair that goes up on top. So, I mean, they're hair brothers too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know about that.
I'm kind of following it.
Mhm.
One other soundbite we had to get in because this is fascinating. Ronna McDaniel, who is over the Republican Party national chair, she has been ridiculed a lot, and for a lot of cases with good reason, because Republicans have not done well in some of these political voting days. They just haven't. Messages have been unclear, not getting on Trump's train, just kind of not being able to utilize power anywhere. Even Rona last night, the RNC chairwoman, was basically telling Haley to get out.
Looking at the math and the path going forward, and I don't see it for Nikki Haley. I think she's run a great campaign, but I do think there is a message that's coming out from the voters, which is very clear. We need to unite around our eventual nominee, which is going to be Donald Trump, and we need to make sure we beat Joe Biden. It is 10 months away till the November election, and we can't wait any longer to put our foot on the gas, to beat the worst president, to beat a president that's kept our borders open, allowed fentanyl to pour through, allowed inflation to go rampant. He is hurting the American people, and we need to do everything we can to unite so that we can defeat him.
Isn't that interesting? Ronna McDaniel telling Nikki Haley, get out.
It's very surprising.
You have no path. And anybody with half a brain like me can see and look at the states. There is no path to victory. There is nothing. The only way that she could possibly do this is if Donald Trump was eliminated, as you heard Vivek say.
Correct.
I'm not going to get into conspiracy stuff. And the only reason she's allowed to continue to do this, follow the dots here, is because the big, massive donors, including Vivek talking about Reid Hoffman, are still supporting her. They took the money away from Ron and they gave it to Nikki. That's the only reason Nikki can be here, and she's not going anywhere, people. She's not. She's going to stay in because she has to, whether she wants to or not. And I don't know her as a person. I don't know if she likes the attention or doesn't like the attention. But a lot of times when you get campaigning, because I know a lot of politicians, sometimes you get caught up in it and you're wrapped up in it too.
Yeah, and you think it's all fun and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not good for America. Although people are allowed to do whatever they want to do. Just don't lie. Just say, hey, listen, I lost tonight. 7 out of 10 of my voters were not Republicans. Just be honest.
Tell the truth.
Nikki, you're nasty. We don't like you. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it can be that way. Yeah, my voice is annoying. I get it. Yes, I'm a flip-flopper, but I'm trying to get better. You said you wouldn't run if Donald Trump was there. You said you wanted open borders. Now you say you want closed borders and nobody knows. Just be honest. Honest.
And the Democrats absolutely know she's being dishonest, but they don't care. They absolutely don't care. They are brought in because they want. They do. They just hate him. They absolutely hate him. And if, in fact, we end up with a Republican president, they want it to be Nikki and not Donald. It's so obvious. And like you just said earlier in the show, that's election interference. And it totally is.
Well, last night, too, Joe Biden, he won New Hampshire.
That was a hard thing to do.
Over Dean Phillips. Okay, whatever.
Dean.
This is sad, but it's funny. And I'm sorry, Democrats. And I'm sorry if you guys have friends of Democrats. You need to send them the show.
Yes. Yes, all of you need to send the show.
What Nikki Haley is now, what Nikki Haley and her campaign managers who make millions of dollars and try to dictate elections, they're trying to lump Donald Trump and Joe Biden together. Nikki, you don't want 80-year-olds. That's all chaos. I like his policies, but he's with Joe Biden. I'm new America. I'm the new generation. Okay, whatever. There is no assimilation between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. You just heard Donald Trump and you've seen Donald Trump and you've seen him campaign and you've seen everything that he's gone through. Joe Biden emerged from his freezer in the ice cream or his basement or wherever he has been, whichever Joe Biden this is, to give this quote. And Joe, if we can play it 2 times, first of all, look at the back screen. The only policy that they're putting up forward, defend choice. They're going to hit the abortion issue hard, as they should, because it's the only ground that they have when they look at polling from Americans. It's not about illegal immigration. It's not about economy. It's not about foreign affairs. They're showing you right now. It's all about pro-choice. That's it. Pro-choice, pro-choice. I don't care if I'm broke, poor, and illegals are coming into my house, killing me, raping me, whatever. Pro-choice. Okay, listen to Joe Biden. From
Donald Trump, a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
What did he say?
We'll teach
Don't mess with the women in
Donald Trump
America.
a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
Vic, don't you mess with the women in America.
Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, don't mess with the women of America.
Oh, let me hear this again.
Do it again, Joe.
Teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to.
I don't think.
Maybe that's just what it sounded like to me. And the reason why I thought he said that is because it was defend choice and there's all women in the background.
Okay, one more time.
Valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get.
I don't know what the hell he said then, if that's not what he said.
Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
People, please, from the bottom of my heart, Democrats, be honest with yourself. Be honest with other people, with your family. There's no way in hell you think he should be in the office he is. There's no way in hell this country is going in the right direction with him now or in the future. And can we do it one more time, Joe? I want to show something else that I noticed about this. It's not just that dumbass is that he can't speak, and this is like the 100th time that he's done this. As he's speaking gibberish, look at all the sheep in the background.
Right. That's the
Nobody's
applauding.
even like going, what did he say? They're all just like, ah, we're as dumb as he is.
That's right.
We're Democrats.
We're just a bunch of dumbasses. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't bring it back up.
Oh.
Well, just say it.
I already closed it out. I can look for it again, though.
Okay.
It's okay. Vic can do it. Vic, do it. Be Joe Biden. See, that sounded exactly like him. So we didn't even need to repeat that. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Terminating the lives of infants. What a great platform.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you want to break down the abortion issue, let's break it down. But most people who are for abortion and pro-choice, and that's fine, don't want to have that deep conversation. It's all surface. I'm not saying that you're wrong or bad if that's what you want. Let's just have a deep conversation and break down every aspect of it, bringing in all video, all aspects of people before, people after, stats before, stats after. And as I've said before, I'm sorry, I can speak to this because Roe v. Wade initially became legal in 1973 at the start. And my mom is a 17-year-old, had a chance to abort me. She didn't, and it wasn't easy. And there is life after. Regardless of, you can't, you don't have money, you're too young. Well, you know what? Life isn't easy, but there is help. Let's focus on how we can help women, how we can help families. Let's have those serious conversations. But Democrats don't want you to do that because guess what? It takes a page out of their playbook.
Yeah, it does.
It tears at the heartstrings. Oh, so yeah, what a platform. And all those people just cheering right along. They're cheering right. This is the problem that I see with these Americans. They're so lost. So lost. They're cheering for him. Do you think they're paid?
Yeah. I do think they're paid. A lot of they're paid or they're just stupid. One or the other. And there's a combination of that.
Here, this is interesting. Joe, did you? Yeah, you can go ahead and play it. This is something else that came out last night. We brought it up. There are so many videos. This is a Democrat who explains what he did in New Hampshire last night. I love that CNN actually covered this.
Nikki Haley.
And why did you vote for Nikki Haley?
It's a vote against Trump. I think it would be better to have her against Biden in the elections than
you don't want
Trump. It would be Trump and her.
Do you consider yourself generally independent, Republican, or Democrat?
Democrat.
So when you undeclared, you voted for Nikki Haley. If it was Nikki Haley against Joe Biden in a general election, who are you voting for?
Joe Biden.
What is the...
Nikki
See,
Haley.
that was so obvious, the strategy that Democrats were being told to do.
Guys, it's all out there.
All out there.
There is a deep state. This isn't the America of the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. It's not. This is America of 2024. There's a plan in place, and it's all coming to destroy America. And it's all being done to keep Donald Trump out of the mix as well, which is sad. But of course, it was a big, big story. Still coming up, we're going to show you this phone call with Carrie Lake and break this down from our perspective. Being asked by a Republican in her state, how much money is it going to take to keep you out of the race? This shit is going on behind the scenes. It's all out there now. So people can't say, oh, I don't want to ruffle feathers. I don't want to say anything anymore. This stuff's going on and we're being shown. Okay. Part of that stress is why I think I'm putting weight on.
It is all stressful.
So
This
I'm
is all
going to,
stressful.
so I'm going to New Age. Kathy Helbig Strick, Steve Strick
Love
joining us this morning. Glad to have them here from New Age this
Oh,
morning.
that's so cool.
Isn't this so awesome?
I love it.
They're in the backdrop. They're getting their shot ready. We're very organic at everything we do. We like to show how this stuff happens because guess what? Life isn't perfect. Technology is not perfect. And of course, we do that. Oh, man, look at
That looks
Steve,
pretty
look,
perfect.
I
Those
have-
specimens of a people,
I have a
they look pretty
t-shirt.
perfect to me.
I have a t-shirt like that as well that I wear around. I don't
Yeah,
look
me
as
too.
good in it as Steve, but I will. Kathy and Steve, good morning, guys. I don't
Love
know if
it.
you can hear us yet. I don't hear her talking, so hopefully we'll be able to figure that. Joe, if you need their number, text me and I'll give that to you, of course.
Is that better?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
now we hear you.
You guys look great. Welcome to the show today from New Age.
Hi, guys.
Hi. I was just talking a lot. I don't know if you guys could hear us lead into everything. Steve, I have a shirt like that I wear around. I don't look as good in it as you, but my goal
I bet you
is,
look better.
No. The only place I'm bigger in that shirt when I wear it is my belly. But we're going to change that.
Change that. That's why you came in.
So you're joining us live from the Ladue location. I had a chance to come in and get my blood drawn a couple days ago. Absolutely love the experience. The store is beautiful. Clearly, what we saying about people getting serious about this is 100% truth because when I walked in, it's packed. And I love to see it. I mean, it's crowded. The chairs were all taken.
Good.
And I was trying to move my time up. And Jason Redmond, who does a fantastic job, is like, yeah, but it's sharp because we had a busy day. And I'm like, okay, now I see why you guys are expanding. The first thing I want to say is it was so easy to come in and get my blood drawn. And then when I was in there, I saw like 10 different things that I could get. So if you guys want to give us a breakdown of New Age again, because we were talking health today, not necessarily real estate and mortgage, unless you guys want to throw something in there at the
No,
end.
let's stay on New Age.
So talk about the store right now. Once again, my experience, I was telling you, I got my blood drawn because of doing testosterone and seeing if there's anything else that can help me, as I get older. I turned 50, it's getting harder to stay in shape. And my story sounds a lot like Kathy's.
Exactly. It sounds like a lot like a lot of people's stories, actually.
Well, good. I feel better then.
You can speak. I'll let Steve speak to the man testosterone
Yeah.
topic.
I think that, we've been talking about medical weight loss so much that everybody gets it, right? Everybody knows that there's these miracle drugs out there that help you lose weight. We need to put a little bit more focus on the testosterone itself because, again, that's a magical drug. That's something that's bringing us back to our youth. And, Vic, you coming back in, I know you texted me the other day. I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to come in the clinic. I said, please get your ass in there. The invitation's always welcome. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And people that haven't experienced what it's like to be on testosterone after your depletion has happened within your body, they don't know what we're saying. So I urge people to experience this because what it's going to do is going to give you more energy. It's going to give you more sex drive. It's going to give you more mental clarity. It's going to promote heart health. It's going to promote prostate health. It's going to give you all these things that actually optimize and enhance your life. It doesn't do anything to take away your life. So, I mean, if you think about how important energy is, I know there's a lot of guys. I talked to this guy yesterday. I met with him at Starbucks. He's 43 years old, and we're talking about testosterone, and we're talking about mortgage, and we're talking about all these things. He's been taking testosterone for quite some time. And he said, Steve, before I started taking it, I had to go home and take naps during lunch. I had to, when I got home at night, I was instantly tired. And, then his wife was wondering, why are you so tired? He's like, well, I just don't feel like doing anything. So once he got his blood work done, which he just did the other day, he started on his testosterone. And guess what? He has more energy. He doesn't have to take naps. His work has increased. The time that he's spending with his wife has increased. And guess what? He's spending more time with his kids.
I'm going to be giving my updates on the story too with all of that. And there's also the health. I took a picture and I'll be willing to show before and after pictures too as we continue. But
And of course, Steve, guess what? If you work out, I'll probably have bigger muscles too.
No,
Let's work out. Let's work out.
I'd like to be able to walk. But here's the thing, though. I'm too used to walking through doors straight. Steve walks through doors sideways.
Right, because he's so big,
and
for sure.
I don't know if I want to do that. but I
Well,
will be on a
Try
serious
it.
note talking
Try
about
it.
those things.
Yeah,
Steve,
don't knock it till you try it. No.
seriously, one other thing that Lizzie, because Lizzie was trying their products out too,
Yeah.
that I was being talked to yesterday about Jason and then Courtney, was the fact of other possible weight loss products. And we've talked about some of those in the past, whether it's for men or women.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do have other products. We have some weight loss pills that you can take. We have some peptides that you can take. Obviously, the Ozempic type, semaglutide, and tirzepatide. So tirzepatide is the Mounjaro version, or the active ingredient in Mounjaro. So we do have all that available. That's probably our most popular option. And those are weekly shots, whereas the peptides are also shots, and then there's the pill form that you can take too.
Outside of that, testosterone will also
Mhm.
increase your metabolism as well, especially when you're being active.
Right.
So you don't just have to go work out,
Yeah.
but if you're on testosterone and you walk, or
And also, you're not everybody's a candidate for the medical weight loss. You know, if you're just 10 or 15 pounds overweight, 20 pounds overweight, then we need to look at maybe balancing your hormones.
How is that dictated, Kathy? How is somebody decided upon, well, you're overweight or not?
Well, the first thing is it's a blood test, number one, to make sure you're a candidate health-wise for it, and don't have any hidden factors that the drugs could cause a problem for. But most importantly, your BMI. So there needs to be typically around a 26 body mass index.
Okay, and blood work shows it.
The blood work doesn't show the body mass index. There's a weight and height
Okay.
scale on that.
26 is the cutoff. You can't be below
26 is
Yeah,
about
I went way over my 26. I guarantee that. I'm gonna qualify.
There you go. You're qualified. So yeah, there's different options, but you know, I started 5 years ago on just testosterone, and with just being on testosterone, I dropped, 6 or 7 pounds that year without really changing much of what I was doing. I felt better, was sleeping better. I didn't feel thought maybe I had COVID brain, like leftover COVID brain or something, or the C word brain. Sorry, I'll probably dig us for that.
No, we're fine.
Okay. But it wasn't. It was my hormones, and it was the lack of sleep and that type of thing that was aiding to all of that. So it gave me a little bit more energy. I then started, some other of the female hormones just to balance that stuff out a couple years into testosterone, which then helped me lose a couple more pounds. But even just the recovery for working out, if you do work out and you're starting to feel like you're not seeing the same results as you used to see a few years ago, testosterone in women and men, don't forget women, like women, we are supposed to have some testosterone in us.
Say it again.
Women, we are supposed to have some testosterone in us.
We're
And
not-
you'd be surprised that when you get older, it's probably 0 to not much left in you. So just having a little bit of that testosterone boost, either male or female, does help you in your muscle tone. It does help you recover. It does help you build muscle faster, which then makes you feel better. Your energy's there. So there's just a lot of benefits to just straight testosterone therapy. And then for the females, like I said, sometimes we need to add in a blend of some of the other stuff with estrogen. And potentially, if you start estrogen, then you need to balance with progesterone. And all of those made me feel better. So the progesterone is like a sleeping pill. I love it because I was having a hard time not going to sleep, but staying asleep. And
What
so
about?
I
I'm
had
sorry, Kathy.
estrogen in because I was starting to have the menopausal symptoms, which are hot flashes, waking up heated at night. So I added the estrogen, which cut that. The same week that I started, I was done with that. But then, because of your increased chance possibly of breast cancer and stuff like that from adding estrogen, you do need to counteract that with the progesterone. So I started taking a progesterone tablet at night and literally have slept like a baby ever since. So that alone was a miracle cure.
Yeah, I started to learn some from Lizzie when all of this stuff started to come down. What about the shots? When I was sitting there yesterday, and I know I've heard you guys talk about this in the room, and I know that you guys aren't necessarily walking around and showing us the rooms.
No, we're going to.
Oh yeah, go ahead. If you want to grab the camera, I'll ask the questions while you guys are walking. I was sitting there and I saw all these opportunities to get shots when it comes to health things. And I was like, oh, and I'm sitting there going, wow. And during the whole time. Oh, and that's the lobby. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's so pretty. When you
Oh,
walk in, you
nice.
think it's a spa. Like for my examples, when you walk in, you think you're going into like to get a massage or something. It's so pretty. But then you go down the hall, you're clearly in a medical place that's so clean and so nice.
Yeah,
No.
we really strategized with that because we didn't want it to feel like a male testosterone clinic like so many places are, but not too foo-foo either. So we wanted to appeal to both sexes, and I think we really nailed it with our design. So we're sticking
Sure
with
did.
this, and we're opening all of our other clinics with the same look and feel.
Oh, I did. And when I went back to the room, they have monitors on the room.
Yeah, let's
They're
walk.
showing, that are showing you and explaining all of the products and the things that are inside of it. And you can talk as you guys
Yeah, we'll
walk
take a
back
walk.
there. As we'll see as they're walking back to show us some of the rooms, because it is a cool facility. And once again, in February, and I don't know, Kathy and Steve, Lake St. Louis location is going to open, and you're already open in the Metro East as well.
Yes, we are open in O'Fallon. We like to call this the hallway to health. So I don't know if that's backwards or not, but it says hallway to health. And we're going to take you down our hallway to health, which we like very, very
The
much.
basic process when you come to New Age is you're going to check in. You're going to have a consultation. Here's a consultation room. So they'll usher you in here. You'll meet with one of our nurses or nurse practitioners.
So as you can see, there's a table. It's very inviting. And to Vic's point, we do have monitors and TVs in every single room to where we can actually review the labs with our patients.
Now, and it's just fantastic when you get that opportunity to learn about this, because most of us that are doing this are doing it for the first time. Men and women just trying to feel better, to make sure that everything's safe. And of course, you guys, obviously, people get to know you. You're super successful business people. This was a business you started up because you felt you could help people. You are not the doctors. You are not the nurses. There are those. You already have those people on staff, correct?
We do. They're here during business hours. Steve and I we invested in it, and we're the partners in it, and we're the promoters of it, but we're definitely not the medical staff. So keep that in mind. Here's the next room. So you guys, when you come back to figure out what your treatment course needs to be, you'll probably be seen in here, super comfortable. We have an extra chair in case you want to bring your spouse, because a lot of times there's questions about the treatment, and a lot of times both people decide they need to get on something to make their lives better together. So here's our other room.
And when people are curious about, because everybody's talking about money all the time, it's price, money, how can we do things? Can they get online and find out what kind of treatment would cost them?
Yeah, they probably need to come in for a consult. I don't know that we keep our prices online, but we're very, very affordable. We're one of the, I won't say the cheapest, but we are definitely one of the lower priced, less expensive options in the area. And your blood work is very, very affordable. People are shocked how much we charge for the blood work. And it's very comprehensive, because a lot of times people, I went to my doctor and he did it. That's not always going to be the same panels as what we're going to pull. So keep that in mind. But yeah, definitely jump online. Remember, our spelling is NEUAGE, New Age Health and Wellness. There's a set up a consultation option. There's a contact us option. So if you have questions and you do want to ask some pricing of some things, definitely hit the info@newagehealthwellness.com email address, and we can get back to you on that. I'll tell you a couple of things that we do offer. We don't talk about a whole lot. We did bring IVs in not too long ago. So you'll see the IV pole back there. I've been coming here about once a week, once every 2 weeks, sit down and get hydrated because I'm a terrible water drinker. So that's great for me. We have several different IV options, which are, let's see what I got here. IV menu. We've got a Get Up and Go, which is good for burning fat, feeling energized, boosting your metabolism. We've got an Immunity Boost IV, which is obviously great this time of the year if you're trying to keep those bugs at bay. And then a Reboot, which is energy, hangover, revitalizing your body. Maybe you had alcohol all weekend and you ran too hard, so you need to get some revalidation. Those are the great options. Our peptides and shots and vitamin shots are pretty hair and nail. I mean, look at my hair.
Hey, by the way, Tracy did want to know if you're still doing shots, because she says you look amazing. All right. Actually, the word was amazing.
Thank you, Tracy. Yes, I do the pretty hair and nails once a week. Serious Sunshine, vitamin D. So if you're low on vitamin D, of course, we still have the original skinny shots, which are not Ozempic stuff. It's the vitamin B mixture and some other things that are in the skinny shot, which give you some energy, raises your metabolism a little bit, and can burn a few pounds off. There's the Tired Parent, again, boosted energy. Weekend Warrior replaces some things back into your immune system. So lots to pick from here, and in addition to the hormone therapy.
Gosh,
the
you're
names
right.
of things
Okay,
are.
you can talk peptides. Here, I'm gonna flip it around and let
Kathy-
Steve talk peptides.
Kathy's pretty good about. She's very good.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with her.
She's good, and then she puts me on it. Of course, we have testosterone, and it's not a lot of testosterone. You don't have to take a ton. Kathy's, in fact, is actually probably like 1 drop a week, 2 drops a week. So when we're talking about testosterone for women, don't think that you're going to turn into a bodybuilder.
No.
We also have peptides. Peptides are basically protein chains that are in your body. There's thousands of them, and they all promote different things, such as pretty hair, stronger nails, bone density, mental clarity, all things like that.
BP
So,
157.
what's that?
BP 157,
Yeah,
really good
but
for
that's not going to be
repair.
Right
Oh.
very much longer.
Never
So
mind.
that being said, I am walking backwards. If I fall, we'll keep this
No.
on backwards. But yes, please come see us. New Age Health and Wellness. Again, we're opening here shortly in Lake St. Louis, which we're very excited about. And then we've got DePere is on the books too. So
Oh, congratulations on that again.
Shopping center
Exciting.
of Circle 7.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, oh my God, that's great.
That is
Still
good.
working on it though.
Guys, thanks for joining us this morning. You guys are really good at this. That segment looked damn good.
Yeah, it sure did.
I'm gonna
Very
apply-
impressed.
I'm gonna apply for Vanna White's job when she
No,
retires.
Vanna White, you've taken it to a whole nother level. I've never seen
take
Vanna White
that.
walk backwards and talk.
No, and high heels.
And I
too.
guarantee she doesn't know about the products you're talking about, with all due respect to Vanna.
No, look at her. She might.
Yeah, she looks great.
Give the girl
She
some
does.
credit, man.
Kathy and Steve, once again, experiencerealty.com, Kathy's company. We got New American Funding by Steve, powered by Score Mortgage, and of course, New Age Health and Wellness, NEU, newagehealthwellness.com. Guys, thank you so much for the segment. I'll keep people updated in regards to my journey.
Great.
Perfect.
Thank you. Love you
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Bye, guys. Love
Alrighty.
you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys. Love having the Strix on. That was
They're the
fantastic.
best. They really
That was really
are.
good.
Yeah, they were good at that.
I love doing this from a technical standpoint with the
Yes.
things that we're trying to do here and that we are doing. It's working.
Yeah, it is.
And we've got a lot more ideas that we can work with
sure
and to
do.
come up as well. This is Cancel This Show. Wait a sec. We're going to get into, we got Scott Fawn coming up here in just a
I
few
can't
minutes.
wait.
What's happening at the state capitol
Mhm.
yesterday is crazy. We're going to get back to what's happening on the national stage. This stuff is going on, but I want to give a shout out to our partners. Of course, we had New Age Healthwellness.com and of course, Experience Real Estate Partners, which we just talked about. Amini's in the Chesterfield Valley, your leading supplier in traditional infrared saunas and saltwater hot tubs. Complete Auto Body and Repair, one of the best places you're going to find to take your car when it comes to A to Z on everything with your vehicle. Strategic Air Services, where we broadcast live out of, premier private transportation providers and all things aviation. Of course, from aircraft management to concierge services and acquisition. WeQuip USA, a peer-to-peer rental marketplace where renters can go to search for items they need that their neighbors might have. If you don't own it, you might be able to find something. You'll be blown away by what you find. Also, you can rent equipment as well. Rent anything. And of course, our good friends at Winty's Food Shack and Saloon, the original food shack of the Gumbo Flats, some of the best pizza, burgers, wings, and smoked meats served in their saloon and on their outdoor patio. And talked a little bit about it. I was there and listened to Tori Allen Saturday night, and she was she was fantastic. And of course,
You had
they
a good
have
time?
their live. Yeah, it was great. Their live guests are absolutely amazing that they have there. All right, I'm Vic Faust. It's Lizzie Sparks, Projo, taking care of our video sound engineering expertise at its best. We're here Monday through Friday, of course, 8 to 10 a.m. Central all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Scott Fawn coming in just a second, and we want to set the stage for this. Yesterday, the state of Missouri had some issues. Now, what happened is you had several state senators who were basically grounded.
Yes.
They were
really
taken
are.
out of their committees.
4 of them.
And because we had Bill Eigel,
Mhm.
we had Ben Brown. Wasn't it Ben Brown?
don't
I
think
thought it was Ben.
Brown.
It was Bill
Let me
Eigel.
find it.
Anyway, you had 4 state senators, and this is what
Yes.
we were jumping up to that first of all, in regards to getting Scott in here. But basically, Caleb Rowden, who is in charge of the Republicans in Jefferson City, said he'd had enough. And he literally scolded them. Now, we have seen in Missouri, there are issues when it comes to getting things done. Republicans have been ripped unmercifully, despite Missouri being an all red state. There's not one Democrat that's been elected to an office in the state of Missouri right now. So what it shows is a lot of Republican infighting that is currently going on. So we try to break this down to see all of these things that are happening.
Yeah, and what's going on down there? There's 4. I'll have to look the names up, but I don't think Ben Brown is one. I think it's Hoskins. I know it's Bill Eigel. I know that Bill Eigel got his parking spot taken away. And there's 2 sides to this story. And most conservative shows are only going to tell you the side of the Freedom Caucus that used to be called the Conservative Caucus. And they're great humans. So this is not any bashing on them whatsoever. And so they were the Conservative Caucus. Then they decided not to be the Conservative Caucus, partly because Bob Onder was out. And then there was other reasons. Some of it was because that was seen as just a faction, just a section of the Republican Party. So they are being told that they're obstructionists. And I don't know that that's totally the case. There's 2 sides of the story. That's why I really wanted to have Scott on, because he will tell the truth of what's really going on down there.
Well, it seems like a perfect one of those situations. I know conservatives love those shirts that are FAFO.
Correct.
I think some state senators FAFO'd and found out, according to Caleb Brown yesterday, bringing in our good friend Scott Fawn, MissouriTimes.com. Scott takes care of everything when it comes to these politics. Scott, just another day at the Capitol yesterday, huh?
Oh, man, it was interesting. I have to say, there's a million ways to look at this. I guess after I thought about it a little bit, the best way I can tell you, my take is, have you ever mowed your mother-in-law's yard?
Yes.
There ain't no way she's going to be happy, right? You can mow that thing however you want to. You can cut it, the design, but you ain't going to have got the clippings wrong, right? There's going to be something you messed up, right? And that's the best way I can describe it, is you have some folks that are, there was a leadership race 6 years ago. I've told this story on your show and many others. 6 years ago, there was a big leadership race. Caleb Rowden won it, right? No problem. Denny Hoskins lost it. Bill Eigel's folks lost it. Schatz won it. And folks have just never gotten over it. And I don't think, from the looks of things, they're ever going to get over it. So finally, after 5 years of taking endless abuse, Caleb Rowden fought back. And I'll tell you, it's went over pretty darn well from folks that watch us every day.
That was my follow-up question. How is this going over? It's one thing to do something, but how is it going over?
I think the entire political world says it's about time. I do not do the suburban victim stuff. I think that, look, I'll just break it down for you. Bill Eigel, Rick Bratton, Andrew Koenig, and Denny Hoskins got their committees taken away. I'll tell you, Bill Eigel won't care. This will do nothing to Bill Eigel. Bill Eigel's not really that kind of legislator that gets in the weeds and works out deals and stuff. That's not his great orator. He loves to talk and he's good at it. But I don't think he cares at all about losing a chairmanship. Now, Denny Hoskins does. He's an old school kind of historian type. He is very upset. Rick Bratton, I don't think anybody really knows what Rick's for or against, really. I mean, he's been in the just, let's say, no caucus. But sometimes Rick will want to pass bills. And you really can't be a person that kills bills and passes bills. It just doesn't work. So he wants to get on the floor and harass everybody else's bills. But when he has a bill for his district, well, no, that should be about God and country and Jesus and all that. Well, that's not real. You know what I mean? And Facebook folks might be like, oh, yeah, that's great. But in reality, you wouldn't let me screw with you, Vic, every day for 5 months. And then you come want something and me not return it. That's just real life. That's just people. And then Andrew Koenig. Andrew, you remember Lucy and Charlie Brown? How Lucy used to pull that football back? Well, Andrew Koenig sticks it to Caleb Rowden every single day. And then he goes and apologizes, right? And then he puts the football back down. And then Caleb/Charlie goes to kick it, and Lucy/Andrew moves it. And every day he'll go back and apologize and say, I didn't mean it. I am the terrorist that you like. I'm the nice terrorist. And finally, Caleb Rowden had enough of it. And I'll tell you this, He didn't want to do Canaan. They have a mutual hatred of schools that runs deep. I got to assume neither was the quarterback in high school. Neither was the Vic Faust of their school, right? That's always bound them together. But I think Caleb finally just got tired of getting smacked around. And
Do you think?
Yeah,
No,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, is Caleb? Does he get? And I'm trying to precisely say this the right way. Is Caleb considered a soft Republican, a centrist?
Oh, not at all.
Because he gets hammered that way by Bill Eigel fans, and you know that.
He gets hammered that way by the people he beat in a leadership election. In Jeff City, none of this is about the policies. I mean, you have, Senator Eigel will tell you, he is a huge supporter of trial lawyers. Traditionally, Republicans have supported business owners. They've supported Wendy's over the trial lawyers. Now, you can look, I'll just tell you, a lot of this stuff you could take either side on, right? I'm not a big believer that anybody's going to heaven first because they supported trial lawyers or didn't support them. But there's a lot of stuff that the conservative caucus, they're funded by gambling and trial lawyers. And they would tell you,
Say that again. By who?
Gambling. And, you ever walk into a gas station and see all those casino machines?
Yes.
They're probably biggest donor. The second biggest donor is trial lawyers, maybe 1 and 2. So let's be real. This is not, nobody here is some pure as the wind driven snow Ronald Reagan, right? That's just not real. Look at Donald Trump. He totally redefined what conservative even is.
True.
Dick Gephardt fought his whole career for tariffs that Donald Trump actually got done. And the Democrats somehow hate him for it. But so I guess what I'm saying is there's hypocrisy everywhere. Caleb Browden actually gets things done. All these big, huge wins Republicans have had. Caleb Browden has been the guy in the room, twisting the knife, making it happen. He's been probably the most successful conservative legislator in state history. Now, a lot of that's got to do with he was there at the right place, right time, but that's a fact. That's not to say Bill Eigel isn't conservative. But no, to answer your question, Caleb Browden is absolutely conservative. He just gets stuff done. It's like Lincoln Huff. They're whining about Planned Parenthood now. No offense to the suburban folks, but suburban folks have been known to whine just a skosh. Lincoln Huff actually defunded Planned Parenthood. There is not one check from the state. The first year he was a Probst chair, the budget he wrote and the regs he wrote, there wasn't one dime sent to Planned Parenthood. But all you're going to hear about next week is stop funding Planned Parenthood. Well, I would have more time for them if they could show one canceled check. The name of the show is Cancel This. If you have one of them on, show cancel this one canceled check to Planned Parenthood. It doesn't exist.
Okay, that's a great point. That's why we got to get you on to get fact. Talking with Scott Fawn of the Missouri Times, MissouriTimes.com. I always tell people you're not going to find anything more about politics. Know who spent time with people who politicians respect and or really, really, really like than Scott Fawn, which is why we get Scott on. And by the way, Scott, we're appreciative of your time. We don't take it for granted. Every time I've asked you, you've always said, yes, of course, I'll come on. And we appreciate you setting the stage on this. Moving forward from what moving forward from what happened yesterday, what happens now? Because Bob Onder comes out and says, Caleb, if you really think that you're making things better, think again, because it's only going to get worse now.
Well, here's Bill's problem. And I like Bill Eigel. I respect Bill Eigel. I've been coming on your show when everybody thought he was going to run for something else. I was like, no, he's going to run for governor. He's going to be a solid contender for it, which I think is proving to be correct. And number 3, I'll give you the boldest prediction of all. If Bill Eigel became governor, he would do a damn good job. He would still say all the crazy rhetoric for, stupid people on the internet. But what he would also do is 2 + 2 would equal 4. He would pander to the flakes and idiots. There's no question. But he would also, Bill Eigel wouldn't do things in this state that didn't make sense. He would be a very good governor. And about year 2, a lot of your flakes and idiots would turn on him because that's what they do. They're not happy with anyone. Going forward, here's Bill Eigel's problem. Thursday, they grabbed the gubernatorial appointments. That's just people from all over the state that are going to serve on a bunch of random committees. There wasn't really all that significant of a list. Maybe the 2 MoDOT appointees, former Mayor Slay, who is highly regarded, and former Senator Dan Hagan from the Great Northwest. They grabbed these and were filibustering these to try to pull some bill into a committee of the whole. It was so silly that at the end of the day, they were just going to cause havoc regardless. If they'd had a problem with one of the appointees, then that's one thing, right? You filibuster the list, but it was they went too far, which I think Bill
said this
Eigel,
was about IP reform. He's like, I'm just trying to reform.
Nothing about IP reform. him. That just happened to be the issue.
Because people are trying to get an idea of what actually happened. I mean, I know a lot of
What
things
actually happened was, I think Bill showed up this year, and I think the rest of them followed Bill. And I think Bill decided, we don't have to do anything this year. I'll do it when I'm governor. And the weaker that Caleb looks, the more he feels like he wins. And so what I think happened is they just simply sat back, and Bill decided, and there are folks that'll blindly follow Bill no matter what, right? He basically just decided, I'm gonna shut this down and nothing's gonna happen. And he thought how far he could push Caleb, and he found it. Bill's problem with all that is Thursday was such just a dumpster fire, and so was yesterday. But there's no difference. I think they were going to do the same thing where they lost their committees or not. That's the you can't out terrorist a terrorist. And I don't think those 4 senators really care about. Andrew Koenig does care about getting stuff done. He loves to pass bills. He's one of those conservatives that I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I've got 50 bills to pass. They're all going to be great. It's always just more government.
For our listeners and viewers, yes, Caleb is the quote leader guy with glasses. Kind of strawberry blonde, or strawberry blonde. That's Caleb. You'll see him there.
Very smart guy, very good guy. I think Bill Eigle's a very smart guy and a very good guy. One of them can be in charge. It's Caleb, and Bill's pissed about it. And that's really the summation of Jeff City today. Going forward, I don't think it mattered. I don't think taking their committees mattered. I don't think this fit mattered. I think there was a fit Thursday about something totally irrelevant over something that was never going to happen. Bill Eichel knew that was never going to happen when he showed up that day. You're not going to take bills away from the floor leader and put them on the committee of the whole and all that silliness. It wouldn't help it anyway. And end of the day, there's not 18 votes for some of this stuff. Bill Eichel is a very smart man. He knew every single thing that happened, Bill knew was going to happen. And he was okay with it. Whether that's good or bad, nobody's outsmarting Bill Eichel. And the rest of them follow Bill's lead. Bill, now I doubt Andrew Koenig knew that because he really loves his committee. He loves being chairman. He loves passing bills. And he loves being the guy that always votes with the guys harassing Caleb. But then he'll go and say, I'm sorry, Caleb, I didn't mean it. And Caleb will take him back every time. It is a sick relationship that Caleb finally has.
Well, and it does, what you're saying does sound like a lot of things in Jeff City are sick relationships that the average person doesn't even understand isn't what meets the eye. You know, I love a lot of people on the Freedom Caucus and I love a lot of people that aren't. And so what's so interesting about it is people will, exactly what you're saying, they get on the internet and they're like, oh my gosh, those rhinos are being so mean to the Freedom Caucus when they don't even understand the whole picture. Sometimes and often the Freedom Caucus is doing the same thing, but because they say the right thing, people think they're the good guys and everyone else is a rhino. And that's where—
Well, you know how you could spot a moron? He writes the word rhino on the internet.
Why is that, Scott?
Yeah.
Because
Clear that up.
It's such an oversimplification of everything. It's so, and I'll just tell you, Vic, who's the most popular guy in every college town? The backup quarterback, right?
Backup quarterback,
if
backup
you get to
goalie.
sit back and you don't have to make the transfer on time, and you don't have to actually pass things. You just complain. Whether it passes, it's not good enough. If it doesn't pass, you didn't get anything done. That's an easy job. And look, this is politics. People have been doing that since water's been flowing past this Capitol. Denny Hoskins didn't invent obstructionism, right? But the truth is, there have been incredible advancements for the conservative cause. Again, that word has been kind of warped into all kinds of different stuff. Now there's people that want to take your property rights. So you can't sell your property to somebody from China, right? Well, I would say you buy the property, but I'm conservative. Then they want the government to say you can't sell your property to a landfill. Well, I would say if a business goes through the process of putting a landfill in, why is the government picking winners and losers? But then they'll tell you Jesus and conservatism, and they'll mumble something about a rhino. It is a catch-all word that both sides call each other. Nobody's a rhino. That's not real. Some people think you should run government like a business, like Lincoln Huff. Is he a rhino? Some folks think you should run government by complaining on Facebook. Are they rhinos? It's easy to be the backup quarterback and complain about everything.
I know, Scott. You always said things. I do, and I respect you so much. We're getting ready to get off with you on this interview, and then we're going to play a soundbite of the Republican leader of Arizona who was taped with Kari Lake trying to buy her off so she wouldn't run. To me, I'm like,
she's going to lose, right?
We don't know yet.
Do you think she's going to lose? Do you think Kari Lake is going to lose?
I thought Kari Lake was a tremendous candidate for governor. But I'll tell you this. I think this country doesn't appreciate the whining. I think if Donald Trump would be up, and this would be a coronation. He would have been so popular, he wouldn't have had the guts to charge him with crimes if he'd have shut up after he lost. I think people don't respect the whining. You lost. You rub some dirt on it, and you move on. Mizzou beat Ohio State. If they'd have lost, Drinkwitz shouldn't go out whining about it, saying, no, we really scored more points. No, you want to win or you lost. I think it's very tough in America. There is, especially as a Republican, we're supposed to be the party of personal responsibility and grin and bear it. I think it's very tough for a Republican to whine, and I think this woman is intelligent. She knows she lost the race. I think that's hard to come back from. I really do. And I think she's a tremendous talent. My God, the woman on television is just, I mean.
But they're trying to buy her off, Scott. The Republicans buy her. And I'm like, man, it's just bad.
Of course they are. They want to win the seat. Here's the difference. You have folks that want to win that seat because they want a majority of Republican senators in the United States Senate. I would bet you. Now, I have no idea about Arizona. I've only been twice, once with the Cactus League, which was a good time. But I'll tell you this.
Cardinals related.
If I had to guess, Arizona, like in Missouri, Todd Aiken would have won that election, right? You're a freak, your most freak weirdo Republican will win. In Arizona, it's competitive. And the Democrats have had a good success winning statewide races there. The Republicans probably see it as a year that they could pick the seat up. They want their strongest candidate. I doubt it's her. And I think, that's my gut tells me, I don't know why they would buy her off. I don't even think it's illegal to do that. But as far as wanting her not to run, if all you cared about was confirming judges of the Supreme Court and having a majority in the United States Senate, no, I doubt you'd want Carrie Lake to be your nominee because I doubt she'd win.
Well, we appreciate all the time that you give us.
so.
By the way, we've got Mike Kehoe on tomorrow, so we're grateful for you telling me
a good dose of common sense, Mr. Missouri, Mike Kehoe.
Well, we're going to talk to him tomorrow morning at 8:00, and thanks for telling me who I needed to speak to make that happen. So grateful for that, buddy.
Mike's a good guy.
And yeah, people get a chance to talk to him tomorrow.
There's really 3 good choices for candidates. And is it true, Scott, that I had heard that how it was being broke down right now, and tell me if this is true or not, that Ashcroft is beating right now Kehoe, but not by that much, maybe 5-7%, and that Bill Eigel's only down at 5%. Now that doesn't sound like a big deal when you hear that like 42%
talking about the
is
Missouri
still
gubernatorial
undecided.
race.
Is that true? That like 42%?
I would say there's more than 42% undecided. I would
Okay.
say Jay Ashcroft is where he's at in this race, which is leading it exclusively because of his father, which, again, people say, well, he sucks and all this. And, Jay isn't the most impressive at times. But there's a gal in Arkansas whose daddy was governor, and she ran on that, and they call her Governor Sarah Huckabee.
Very
so
true.
it really doesn't matter why you win. Jay Ashcroft's winning because of his name ID. That part of it he inherited with 2 statewide races he had to run, but most of it he inherited from his father. Jay has not run a very impressive campaign. Jay has stumbled a couple times. Mike Kehoe has ran a campaign of kind of holding himself back a little and raising tons and tons of money. Eigel's run the best campaign, but I don't believe people know who a state senator is in the rest of the state. It's just not possible yet. I think Eigel's ran by far the best race. I think he's really hurt Jay Ashcroft. He's done nothing but hit him. It breaks down like this. If you're a person that gets a message from Bill Eigel, social media, radio, wherever it is, you weren't voting for Mike Kehoe anywhere, but you probably were voting for Jay Ashcroft. And I think Bill is the best orator in the party. He does the best interview in the party, and he has savaged Jay Ashcroft. And the funny part is Kehoe and Eigel hate each other. I think both of them just are kind of annoyed by Jay. They hate each other. And frankly, Mike Kehoe can't be governor without Bill Eigel. It's kind of an irony.
Boy, that's ironic. That is
Now,
ironic.
I'll tell you this.
Okay.
I've always told you, Vic, I believe Bill Eigel could win this race. Now, is he the longest shot? Of course he is. I don't believe he's 5 points down. I would say if you told me Bill Eigel in this state, his name ID is in double digits, I'd be like, maybe amongst Republican primary voters, maybe he's to double digits. I would say Kehoe's probably a 4th, and the name Ashcroft is the highest, whatever the number is that you'd buy, 80%, 90% have heard that name. I've seen nobody yet turn the name against him, which I kind of thought we would do. But nobody's really turned Jay's name on him, but I think that will come at some point.
Scott, we appreciate it. I know you're happy the Cardinals picked up Matt Carpenter, and now they're going to go to the.
What are y'all doing over there? We're going to take that team away from you people. I mean, why? What is Matt Carpenter going to do? Here's the thing, Vic. I'll tell you this. I hear about clubhouse culture, right? We need a leadership in the clubhouse. On some teams, they have a position who's in charge of the clubhouse, who's in charge of the culture. It's the freaking manager. It's
Yeah.
the manager. But when you hire yes men who couldn't get a job anywhere else, at freaking Wendy's, to be the manager because you don't want to be challenged, then you have to go sign 196 hitters that are 40 years old and suck to be your clubhouse culture. That hire a real manager. Go ask Whitey. Have Whitey take back over. That's the German American manager. That's what we need. All these other issues we've talked about pale in comparison to the desperate need for German American management back at St. Louis.
Hey, real quick, the Democratic candidate for governor, of course, it is. It's going to be.
She's great.
Yeah, Crystal
Very
Quaid.
talented woman.
Yeah, she's very. I don't agree with her policies, but she's super talented. I agree.
Absolutely. Hey, look, I agree with Crystal about very few things, but she does have some sense. And if you had her on, you'd have a great talk with her. You'd agree on nothing, but you'd be like, well, she knows. It's like talking with somebody that you disagree with that knows their stuff.
Can you let me know how to get in touch with her?
I'll text your number right now. She's great.
Text me. We'll get her on. Scott, thanks. MissouriTimes.com.
Thank y'all. Bye, Lizzie.
The man when it
Bye,
comes to
Scott.
politics in the state of Missouri, Scott Vaughn. Hey, the great thing about Scott, which I love too, and we have people from Michigan. We're like, who is this guy? He's funny. Scott is
funny.
himself.
Yes.
He is straightforward. He is black and white.
Yes.
And he'll tell it how he sees it.
Correct. And yesterday I was flipping through different, news channels and they were talking about Scott Vaughn's Missouri Times. And it was people on the Freedom Caucus were actually saying, if you want to see what went down yesterday, you have to go to Missouri Times. They were talking about it. And some of them don't like Scott Vaughn because he just tells it like it is. And he likes Bill Eigel. But if you say anything against anybody's candidate, doesn't matter, they get upset. But no matter who you're with, the left, the right, whoever, everybody tells you to look on Missouri Times.
Well, here's a situation I was talking about with Carrie Lake, with Scott Vaughn. And it just rubs me the wrong way. And this is why I do believe there is a deep state, whether Scott or anybody else agrees with it. This is why that word, quote, rhino gets associated when there is evidence of things like this happening. And this is a tape, an audio tape that I believe Carrie Lake's team put out there. And this was the head of the GOP of Arizona trying to buy her off so she would not run. It just rubs me the wrong way. We won't play the whole thing, but we'll play enough.
Is there a number at which
I can be bought?
not be bought?
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple of years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
No. 10 million, 20 million, 30, no. A billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country. I think it's disturbing that they would even, that anybody would think this is.
No, to be fair, even me, I'll say this. I want a fresh face right now for the reason that I've never seen anyone, I can't think of a single person in a federal race who lost, ran in and won. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know.
I am not going to let these people who hate our country tell me not to run. You should call them and tell them to get behind me. So what's going on? What is?
Good for her.
Assuming this is our friend.
This is back east. There are very powerful people who want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should want
This
me.
conversation
I'm a
never
great
happened.
Never happened. And she's eating something. Can you tell? She's got food in her mouth.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
This is rapid. Don't go. Be careful though. I don't get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
I wouldn't doubt that either. Today's world, man. If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man. They say the cartel's operating in 50 states right now. Like all
Wow, this is getting big.
So what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you the what. Let's just say there are people calling around saying, gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't, because say, I got offered to buy out. Don't use it. Because then we lose our ability to get things done in the future.
Here's my problem. Rather than just say, let's work with her. She's a great candidate. Because they don't own me. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, it's not almost about ownership.
It's about control.
I don't know it's about control. It's about being on the team. I guess that's, you know what I mean?
They want to be on the team.
They want you to be on their team.
But they're,
team, you know?
but if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
They want you to stay out for 2 years. But, I'll tell you what I can offer you. But, I said, you can do whatever you want. It's talking head, this and that. So, the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So, the ask I got today from back east was, this has to stay between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and give her, to keep her out?
Yeah. Okay. We can go ahead and get out of that
Yeah, because that goes on and on and on. And
the
you
same
can
thing
tell
said
it
over and
was-
over.
It was like a conversation that, say, you and I were talking, and somebody's like, sounds like she's eating a hamburger or a salad, because it was really a conversation that happened.
It almost seemed as if she was, quote, being threatened,
Yes, by the cartel.
even kind of from that standpoint.
I thought so too. Wow.
This is why it rubbed me the wrong way. That's why I said what I said.
Yeah.
This is why when that video or that audio was released, they're trying to buy her off. And if you don't think for 1 second that this is not happening over and over in every state across the country, think again. Now, Carrie Lake's different because she has a lot of prestige and she's been mentioned as a possible VP pick with Donald Trump. And then, of course, she brought a lot of attention to herself with what happened in Arizona when her competitor, Kirsten Sinema, certified her own election results without any real study into the problems of Maricopa County.
Wow.
And of course, Carrie Lake, being a former news anchor, had a lot of popularity already. So that being put out, I'm wondering what's going to happen. That should be national news on every single station, radio, publication, you name it. And it's not yet. And it should be, because that is serious, serious stuff. When I'll call it the deep state, obviously infiltrated Republicans, and you have the Republican GOP head of the state of Arizona trying to, and they would have paid her millions to get out, trying to pay her off to not run for office or quote else. Or quote else.
Yes.
As Jeannie says, just a reminder, people, it's only a matter of time. We will be at war with the cartel
for sure
at some point in time. And she didn't bite the money, so she didn't take that.
Good
So,
for her. Good for her.
yeah, we had to cover and get into all of that. There's just so much of those things that go on, especially in business and behind the scenes that,
Yes.
you know, I've always said this, we only know what we're told we can know. There's so many things that go on behind the scene.
That we don't even have any idea of what it is, because unless you're there every day in the trenches, whether it's the Capitol in your state or whether it's the White House or these backdoor deals that people are talking, we probably wouldn't even be able to sleep at night if we knew everything.
I agree. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks. We've been packed today. Lots of things going on all over the place. And we continue our Wednesday segment. It's a Weed Wednesday segment with Route 66 Cannabis and our good friend Hammond Ra, the owner, CEO. He is joining us live today from St. Bart's again. Obviously, the weather, the atmosphere is looking good on you, my friend. Good morning. What time is it there? They're an hour ahead of us, right?
No, it's 11:30 here, so 2 hours.
Oh, you're 2 hours ahead of us. Okay. Are you coming back?
Ever?
No.
We're never coming back.
You know, they say that when you go to, I mean, it's like the longer you stay, the longer you're going to want to stay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back. This has been on my bucket list since the day I started a business. I said I was gonna go somewhere at some point and just kind of reevaluate, think, and just be like, see somewhere beautiful. And this is paradise out here, guys. But I am coming back. This is not real life, obviously. This is just vacation life. But I've learned so much out here. It's unbelievable. The business opportunities. There's so many Americans that come here, and they're just dying to like understand like where to go and like how to get into places and restaurants and the scenic areas. So I definitely have been evaluating some new business ideas out here.
Well, you planned this trip for a while because somebody said, damn, he's still there. Must be nice. I know you work your ass off, and you've talked about some of those stories to get to a place where you are, where you can go do this, where you could, focus in, because so much of life tears at us, things that we let people know, and obviously things that we don't let people know, because we just came to you out of sound where you had the head of the GOP in Arizona trying to buy off Kerry Lake, and it was recorded for millions of dollars. And
Wow.
and these things happen in business all the time. I'm sure you've dealt with some of these things in your life as well. Obviously, it's a side subject to weed, but maybe it was in the weed business. Maybe it's somewhere else, because I guess you have to be prepared to know how to handle things.
Yeah, in my mortgage career that I had for 23 years, I mean, it's very common where people try to buy your business, well, before the Frank Dodd stuff, like from appraisers to title companies. So yeah, I mean, it's going to happen regardless of where you're at. You just have to think how you're going to sleep at night, right? And is this ethical? And when those answers are no, then you should not do that.
Hey, by the way, our very own Joe Pro Joe, our engineer extraordinaire, has a good time when he comes into your place. He goes in, I think he goes into your Wentzville store, route66cannabis.com, route66cannabis.com. We wanted to show you a picture of Joe and how happy. There he is.
Yeah, he's pretty happy right
I
there.
love it.
When he goes
Wow.
into Route 66. And I'm like, and Joe, I love how you keep this picture up, but obviously it gives people an idea of, what one of the stores looks like. And obviously he has great times when he heads into Route 66 Cannabis.
No, I love it. What an awesome picture. You know what I found here, guys, which is really interesting? People smoke, like it's just out in the open, right? Cigarettes. But I've also noticed people smoking joints, and I've asked a couple people, where do you get that from? And they're like, well, we just get it. I was like, so it's not legal here, which is interesting, but everybody smokes it and wants it. So I'm like, I wonder what it would be like to try to get legalization out here.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, we had a question, and maybe you can let us know this. Maybe you can't because it's your business insider information, but Dave wanted to know how your plants were doing during extreme weather. And I was like, aren't all your plants growing inside?
That's a great question, and that's definitely kept me up. So we have a really amazing heating system for all of our grows, indoor and outdoor. So we do have 3 outdoors. 2 of them are tunnels, and 1 of them is a greenhouse. And we were very fortunate that all the plants survived during the cold weather.
So that means the flower continues to pour in then.
It keeps growing. So you've got the lights, which those produce heat. Plus, we also have to have heaters in there to keep them.
Oh yeah, we've shown the pictures of everything that you're doing. Does that get? I guess, boy, I can only imagine what an investment that is to keep that going.
It's when people, we've talked about this on the show. Everyone thinks like, oh, just because you have a cannabis company, you're rich. That can happen eventually, but it's a lot to get it up and running and get it to the next level. It's not what you think. It just sounds sexy, and people relate to the green flower as money. But there's a lot of cost behind it and a lot of infrastructure that has to be put in place before you can even make money on this.
We're talking with Ham. He is the owner of Route 66 Cannabis. They've got 5 locations all throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. We just showed you one of the inside of the stores when it came to Joe. And of course, Joe going to get the product as much as he possibly can.
I love it.
Hey, it was interesting. I think we talked a little bit about this last week. It was a sad story, but I'm leading here, so follow with me on this. The Pawn Star TV star, Rick Harrison, his son, Adam, 39. Did you see he died of a suspected drug overdose this last week?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so he died, and here's the thing. He is now, but here's the problem. They said it was fentanyl. He got a hold of fentanyl that he didn't know that he had, which is why when more and more people are using marijuana for whatever reasons, cannabis, you have to be careful about where you are getting your cannabis. And that's why we tell, hey, go out, learn as much as you possibly can. The bud tenders and the people at Route 66 are absolutely amazing at teaching. And we've had Patrick in here talking to us and teaching us about Ostara and the Ostara line that Ham has throughout the state of Missouri. But the reason I brought it up is, and I think we can't talk about it enough, if people are using, you better damn well know that you're not going to know 100% where your cannabis came from if you're not getting it from a store.
Yeah, that's just crazy. And where technology is at today, and I'll give a point of reference. It's kind of like if you recall TVs back in the day, right? It would be like this giant box, and how much would that cost? Like for 42 inch, like $5,000, right? Remember those days? And as
Yeah.
technology has changed, you can buy a TV like every week and throw it away.
Yeah.
I mean, they've gotten like a few $100s for a 42 inch. I'm talking 42 inch, right? Not like the 80 inch. So marijuana is similar, right? The technology and the science has changed so much. I can literally produce a more affordable joint than if you were to buy it from someone else out in the black market. It's true. It's really true, right? So we sell eights for $25. Where are you going to get that? Like drug dealers don't sell eights for $25, right?
Mm-mm.
They just don't. I mean, they might get close to it. So my point is, if you know where one of them comes from, which has been lab tested, state approved before it gets on shelves, why would you not just do that? And it doesn't have to be necessarily at one of our stores, because you've heard me on the show. I support all dispensaries because it's a unique business, and we're a very tight knit community to make sure the control of the good products are out there. You know, and there was a few people early in the industry that actually got busted by putting things in there that they weren't supposed to. And I don't mean anything harmful, but they were using Delta 8 and Delta 9 as if they're pushing cannabis, which wasn't.
We're talking with Ham from Route66Cannabis.com. Curious, my friend, have you heard more and more stories recently of new people trying out products, new people finding how they can be helped by using cannabis in some form? Because it seems everywhere I go throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, even though it continues to maybe be a fight because of a federal standpoint, that it's just more and more and more and more and more accepted, where I see families talking more and more about it. Parents and kids be like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm going to go get some of this. I got my gummies. I'm going to go take care of this. Yeah. You need something or why? And these are of age people, of course.
Of course. I will tell you, it's really interesting you bring this, and I'm not going to name names because I just that's not what I do with people's privacy. But there is a lot of influential people in St. Louis that have either contacted me directly or have come to the store and are buying. And they're buying it for different reasons. It's back pain, neck pain, their hands hurt, loss of appetite. And these are the same people, when we first went medical, wanted nothing to do with it, wouldn't even get near it. And now they've accepted it, and they know that it's a real thing. It's a natural product, right? And so that actually gets me more excited to see people that are so against it now walking into the store and trying it.
I figured that's why I'd love to hear the stories of those things that are coming. You've gotten away now. You've been gone for what, about a week and a half, maybe
That's
2
right.
weeks, something like that from that standpoint. When you get out to this area, when you get out to St. Bart's, where you are right now, and you have some more peace and relaxed time, have you come up with new ways to push the business forward? Are there new ideas when it comes to products, or are you guys already there? Now it's a matter of just getting the word out, making sure people understand how they might be able to be helped by the products that you can provide.
So it's a great question. It's a two-part question. So yes, we're always going to tweak, right? It's kind of like Formula One. You know, the car's running and it's fast, but there's always ways to make it a little bit more efficient. And when we make things more efficient, we can actually bring the cost down a little bit, right? So for that standpoint, that's a great thing. We are coming up with some new product lines. I can't talk about them just yet. I'm excited about our new harvest, which is going to be our Cubana line in February. We'll be harvesting that, and that's our new premium flower. So that's exciting. And we are revamping our Ostara website, and it's going to actually have more description of what each of those gummies do. And like, we're going to use like the rest gummy. We'll have a picture of someone sleeping. And then there'll be rest next to them. And I'm giving that as an example because that's still a common question. People say, well, which one's for nighttime? And even though it says rest, I get it, right? I like to cut corners and just ask the question instead of Googling it. So we're gonna improve that a little bit more so that people can understand what these products are. And the balance is a great one. It's really for people that are just want to balance throughout the day, right? It doesn't make you high. And that's the biggest misconception. People think, if you just touch cannabis, like you're just stoned. Well, that's not 100% true. It just isn't. It just isn't, right? But I was thinking to myself, wow, if weed was legal in St. Bart's, these restaurants wouldn't even be able to handle all these people. because it's a small island. I mean, they would just be everybody would have the munchies.
So
out here.
people are walking around smoking even though it's not legal, right? I mean, just like it was in the United States. I get that. I figured that
I
was.
smell it. I smell it in the air. I mean, I know what it smells like, and so do you guys, right?
Of course.
They're
We get it.
literally. I mean, and wow, what a great place to grow it. It's about as tropical as it gets.
Hey, as you're talking about business there, I don't know if you're in your room, if you're somewhere else, but you showed us. I mean, can we see St. Bart's again? Is that even possible? Or are you in a position to do that right now? I don't know if that's even possible.
I am actually at the hotel.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. It's all good.
So where I'm sitting is there's not a lot of Wi-Fi here. Okay, so let's go into that. So when you find it, you have to hunker down, and that's another thing. I'm looking around. I'm literally the only person on my phone. People don't use their phones here. Like they have no reason to talk about anything. They're
Wouldn't
not on
that be
social
nice?
media.
Wow. Yeah. Can you imagine a life without your phone?
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah,
No, that's
it's crazy. Like some people, like the Americans that are here, like myself, will say, "Hey, do you have Wi-Fi?" I'm like, I just need to, do my podcast. But people just don't need their phones. It's crazy.
Yeah. I guess if you see something that beautiful every day, you don't need to be on your phone.
No,
For sure.
and the people that are residents here are so nice. Everyone is just so nice to each other. Maybe it's the sunshine that makes them nice. I don't know. But I grew up in Florida.
Yeah, it does.
Well, I grew up in Miami. People were not nice in Miami. So anyone listening in
It's
Miami, it's not a knock on Miami. It's just a very busy lifestyle and fast
Yes.
paced. It's not fast paced. When you get
Damn,
there,
I'm
you get
learning
there.
a lot. Ham, I'm learning a lot from you today. I had no idea about that with Miami too. I'm not an aficionado of Miami though. So
Well, Miami is just fast paced. It's a giant melting pot. Here, it's the French West Indies. Like everyone is just chill. That's it.
it's like Yelman.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
hmm
They don't say
did
it like
you-
that, but it's chill.
So they don't say it like Jamaicans, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I
No.
did. I sounded more Jamaican.
Very
you do.
French.
Very
They're
French.
Caribbean. Hey,
Yes.
do they have American products there that we get here in America when it comes to food, drink?
Do they have Dr. Pepper there?
Okay, this is actually a really great question, guys. They have some of our products, but the ingredients are completely opposite.
Okay.
Right.
Oh no, this may
I
be
mean,
bad for Americans to
this-
hear.
I mean, the food, I literally have been eating whatever I want, and my pants keep getting looser. It's crazy. I'm not even like really working out, right? I'm doing like a little mini workout, nothing crazy.
I knew he was
just-
going to say
Wow.
The
What
food
kind of
is just pure. It's unbelievable.
And there's something to be said about that because we know in America, our food is made different and it has so many probably unhealthy additives to it. And they probably don't have that there. And that's what makes
They
us
don't.
all so heavy here is all those additive and preservatives in our boxed food.
Correct. And here's the crazy thing. The grocery stores, there's only 2 of them on this island. And you walk in and there's like, let's just say like a giant basket of strawberries. You pick your strawberries, your cherries, that's it. Like they don't like, it's not like Costco where there's like pallets of fruit. Like if they're out. Like that's it. Like, and their meats and their cheeses. I mean, everything is portion control here. Even like whatever you buy, like if you want to buy like, I don't know, like a creamer for your coffee, everything is mini. They don't sell like a 5-gallon, like we go buy this 5-gallon creamer.
Yeah.
They just don't operate like that here.
So you know it's fresh because it's not been sitting on
Everything
the
is
shelf for
fresh.
days.
It's whatever is at the store, it just came in that day and it leaves that day.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
That's how they live their life.
Yeah, I think I might remember some of it at the old IGA here in St. Louis way back, but I'm old, so I don't know that most people that listen to the show even know what I'm talking about.
And they only sell a few of American sodas, and that's it. Like I've seen Coke and Diet Coke. I've seen Sprite once. That's it. Like everything else is like juices
Mhm.
and waters. They don't sell all these junk drinks. They just don't.
Yeah, that's good.
Dang,
They don't want it. They don't want it here.
Good
Hey,
for them.
What's been one of the most fun things you've done since you've been there?
Oh man, Whew, that's a loaded question.
Are you getting out and about, checking out the terrain? Everything?
I've looked at a ton of real estate here, so I would say looking at some real estate has been major eye opening for me. What I've learned in all the homes here, like if it's a 4-bedroom home, the first 2 bedrooms are in the house, but the other 2 bedrooms you have to go outside the house and walk around to get to the bedroom. It's different here, right?
So it's 2 separate roofs.
No, it's one roof, but then it's a stairs. It's like a basement.
Oh,
But you can't go into it. Like you got to walk around it. But the rental income out here, just exploring because that's my background is real estate, right? That's really where I made my money. And let me just give you an example. A $9 million house here, which is very generic. It's beautiful. Everything is beautiful views, right? But it's maybe 2,500 square feet, but you have an amazing view. It rents out roughly about $1.8 million a year.
Wow. That's crazy.
And I don't believe that. So I asked a million questions, and they're like, yeah, like there's an agency rents, and then they show you the rent rolls that come in. And during the high season, like for, special events, so the carnival or New Year's, for New Year's week, okay, these places, like the one I just looked at, they get about $120,000 for the week for rent.
That is, I can't even imagine that.
Think about
Can't
how
even
wealthy you have to be to pay $120 just to have a place for the weekend.
Yeah.
My God. Yeah.
I can't even, I don't have any friends that would invite me.
Hey, what time does the sun set in St. Bart's this time of year?
It's usually like around 6:30ish.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
so
gotcha.
early. So it's early.
Well,
It just slowly goes down, but it's just beautiful. But here's another thing I learned: like, you don't pay taxes here, right? So if you buy a house, you pay 6% up front, and that's it. There's no more property tax. There's no sales tax. There's none of that.
So it's called a 6% tax just from the get-go, like a buying tax?
It's to buy it. It goes to the city, but that's it. Like there's not an annual tax on it.
So you don't have to keep paying taxes on your cars either?
No.
That's
zero.
beautiful.
No,
Beautiful.
you don't.
Damn, you can come back and run for office here.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. And this rental stuff, it's got my mind like racing because I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. Now the only difference is like if we're Americans coming in, you can't finance anything, so it has to be all cash. You have to establish residency to even be able to be a part of it. Because if you don't establish residency, then you can only, if you own a house here, you can only come to it no more than 90 days collectively. They don't want you living here.
Yeah, I get it. Ham, it's been great to catch up
It's
with you
crazy.
again today, my friend. We look forward to catching up with you again next week from beautiful St. Bart's. And once again, I want to make sure everybody knows the company, Route66Cannabis.com, Route66Cannabis.com. So many products, the best bud tenders you're going to find. The Ostar brand line you can find not only at Route 66, you can also find it and all kinds of stores, all kinds of dispensaries across the state of Missouri. And of course, the kind of flower, the kind of product that Ham and his people produce with Route 66. We're grateful for you to join us on this Weed Wednesday, my friend. Enjoy your
guys.
time and keep getting that education so you can pass it on to us. Okay.
I love it. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
All right. Have a great day. Interesting stuff learning about.
I would
St.
love not
Bart's.
to pay taxes.
Oh
We
my
talk
God,
to our
we're getting
politicians all the
teased.
time. And now, wouldn't that be great? Because taxation is theft. I mean, it really is. I understand that you need money to, run your streets and stuff. But I'm one of those people that people would probably hate when they hear me say this. I don't even think our kids' education should be free. And of course, I say that because I pay for my kids' education. But think about how much money that we could save if we just choose which school our kids do or which things that we do. And when we buy our houses, we pay our taxes one time. One time. I can't even imagine that. And you don't even pay taxes on your car.
No, you don't.
Look at all the people that are in trouble these days, Vic, that literally, I think they might be thumbing their noses at the government, but look at how many people that don't even have license plates that are valid anymore because they can't afford them. They can't.
No,
They
that's
can't.
true.
They
No,
can't
I get
afford to
it.
renew their plates anymore.
No, I get it. It all happens.
Yeah, like
Man.
Margie saying, taxes on top of taxes.
Yeah, what a show we've had. We appreciate it. So packed today. Pack. Ham, Scott Vaughn from the Missouri Times, Kathy Elbig Strick, Steve Strick from New Age. Of course, we'll continue to keep people updated on that. I want to remind everybody, we haven't had him on, so we'll get him on for the first time tomorrow. Mike Keogh.
We've been asked a lot to have him on because we've had the other two a lot. And there are a lot of people that do not like Mike Kehoe. And there's a lot of people that are like, I really don't know anything about him. So let's have him on.
Well,
So I'm excited.
Yeah, and the interesting, he was scheduled to come on today.
Yeah.
But he was getting back late last night because he was traveling with Team Trump.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so he was with
Fantastic.
the Trump
Team
camp,
Trump, yep.
the Trump campaign.
That's what's a beautiful thing.
And
is
New
all
Hampshire.
three of them like Trump.
Oh my God!
All three of our candidates like Trump. So we don't really have a bad choice. It's just a matter of opinion. But you're right. I didn't know that he was with Team Trump last
Yeah,
night.
so he was with Team
Love
Trump.
it. Love it.
They were with Team Trump yesterday in New Hampshire, getting back late last night. So that's why we decided to move it to Thursday morning.
That's perfect.
To try to get a perspective there in regards to, where Mike Keogh is, what it's like running for governor and dealing with some of these things that you have to deal with, especially on the heels of what we just talked to Scott Fawn about.
Correct. Crazy town.
Anything else? I'm trying to remember, make sure.
Well, there was one more thing if you want to talk about, if we have time.
I just didn't know if we had time, but.
Well, I think we just get into it a little bit about the wealthy Chicago suburbs.
I know. It's amazing. I didn't know if we should save it for tomorrow.
Save it for tomorrow?
Yes.
Let's do it.
We'll save it for tomorrow. You won't want to miss that story.
Okay.
That is a fact.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because there's stuff every day that's happening, and it comes to illegal aliens, and we go for there. It's always great. Yeah, Donna Wright again. No to Kehoe.
Yeah, and I think, and I've noticed that on our chat line, people are really mixed about that. There's some people that are pro Bill Eigel, and there's some people that are pro Jay Ashcroft. And yesterday, there was 3 people on our chat line that when you mentioned Kehoe was coming on, they're like, yeah, we're for him. So what I like about our listeners, more than any place that is around, is our listeners are not an echo chamber. They have their reasons why they like who they like. Same thing that what happened with Scott Fawn was talking about. Some people understand the whole picture. Some people just understand Caleb Rowden. Some people just understand the Freedom Caucus. We like to show all sides of all of it because we really love our country. We want what's best for our country.
And we do. And so we'll do it again tomorrow. We'll have another great show. We appreciate everybody who jumped in today. We can get out a few minutes early. That's really cool. It's all good. That's for sure. Lisa says, by the way, February 3rd is a trucker convoy on the Texas border, I believe. That'll be interesting.
Oh, that'll be interesting to cover.
If you find out more information from that, let us know too.
Yeah,
would
send
be
that,
great.
Lisa.
So we can go ahead and close out the show today. So we'll go ahead and do that. And thanks again for Projo taking care of everything as he normally does. So we will just say for Projo and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Thanks for watching cancelthisshow.com today. We'll be back tomorrow. And boy, it's a lot of great stories every day. If you guys know of advertisers, sponsors, we always say, please let us know. Vic at cancelthisshow.com, Lizzie at cancelthisshow.com. People that we can do. We've got some good numbers. People are getting some traction when it comes to their businesses. Let us know. We also have a donation button on our front page. Those donations help. And we have a merchandise site as well, cancelthisshow.com. We have the merch store with hats, shirts, cups, Cancel This Coffee, all of that there as well. Thanks again, guys. That does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting here at Cancel This.